And now let's talk about the weather in South Korea. The country is going through a heat wave. Temperatures have hit 38 degrees Celsius in some parts, which is not very much if you're watching us from India. But in South Korea, it has led to this. There are a lot of children in Korea for an event. The World Scout Jamboree, that's the event. Now, some of you may know about Scouts and Guides. It's an institution that helps young people learn outdoor survival skills. And about 40,000 Scouts from around the world have gathered in South Korea, but the heat has played spoilsport. Hundreds of these Scouts and Guides in their teens have suffered from heat-related ailments. And the government of South Korea is ramping up efforts to address the issue. They're pulling out all the stops, both to save face and to save the event. Here's a report.
South Korea is hosting an event right now, the World Scout Jamboree. It's a gathering of scouts and guides from around the world, the first one since the pandemic. And South Korea is hosting the event with great fanfare. The country's President Yoon Suk-yeol and First Lady Kim Hyun-hee were at the opening ceremony.
Please give them a big round of applause again.
Yoon even gave a speech during the event. The event was quite high profile. Celebrity adventurer Bear Grylls was also present.
What a sight!
And they all kicked off the 12-day camp. South Korea's Minister of Gender Equality and Family is a co-head of the organizing committee. You can tell that Seoul wanted the event to be a grand success. But it seems they didn't expect one thing to dampen spirits: the heat. South Korea has been going through an intense heat wave. Parts of the country are sweltering under 38 degrees Celsius heat. Seoul has issued its highest heat warning. But it seems the country didn't take enough precautions for the World Scout Jamboree. About 600 of the participants, mostly children between the ages of 14 and 18, have suffered heat exhaustion. Many have even had to go to the hospital near the camp. Others have been forced to rest, sometimes with IV drips to ensure they're safe. Hundreds of rescue personnel have been deployed at the event. And South Korea's government is keeping a close eye on the situation.
Regarding medical matters, the total number of outpatient visits yesterday was 1,486. Among them, 383 people were bitten by insects, accounting for 26.1%. 250 people had skin rashes and 138 people experienced heat-related symptoms, among others.
South Korea wants the event to go off smoothly. So much so that the president has personally been involved in fixing the situation.
The recent decree from the President of Korea gives Minister Kim increased ability and resources to provide water, shade, umbrellas, cooling buses, doctors and nurses to the site immediately.
Now, our viewers from India and other tropical countries may not understand what all the fuss is about. After all, 38 degrees Celsius may seem like a normal day. But that's not the case in most other parts of the world. What we consider hot is relative to what we're used to, and so many people around the world are not prepared to face this sort of heat. South Korea is definitely one example of a country not prepared for temperatures close to 40 degrees Celsius. 16 people have already died there due to the ongoing heat wave. This is according to government data. Construction workers in the capital Seoul are protesting. They're demanding protections against the heat.
South Korea's heat wave is reaching a peak. Even though temperatures are exceeding 35 degrees, there is no rest for construction workers. It is becoming hard to even use the restrooms. We are holding this news conference calling for legislation since we are having problems on the lack of basic facilities.
Thermal cameras have been depicting the heat in Seoul. The city's monuments are a bright red. They're burning up. And this is definitely taking a toll on people.
처음에 농사 시작할 때는
When I first started farming, there were no sudden and unexpected downpours. Global warming didn't progress that much at that time, so it was not that hot either. However, it's getting warmer and sudden rainstorms are happening a lot more. It's out of our individual abilities.
I was worried about heavy rains, but after the rains, the weather is extremely hot now. I'm exhausted. I've lost hope in farming.
Farmers are among the most vulnerable to the effects of climate change. And some, like those farmers, are losing hope. We need to do our part to mitigate climate change. If not, then we may have a future where the heat stops children from even venturing into the great outdoors.